Alright, so about the score dives, so forgot to cover that the A version is more vertical and the C version goes farther forward. It's hard to tell because they use the same animation and the same thing. Like you think if she would go further, she would slightly be facing a different direction, but they use the same thing, so it's harder to tell. But the C version does go farther. Anyways, just to recap, both versions are unsafe on block, and you don't want to use them outside of combos unless you just feel like being gimmicky. Like for example, you could jump over and hit them with it and catch them by surprise. But yeah. Next, I want to cover the EX version. So the EX version is multi-hits. You get more hits the higher that you hit them, that you use it from. So that's 2 hits at the least, and I believe 3 hits at the most. So yeah, and if you get the EX score dive, you can always get the air grab from anywhere on the screen. Also on block, it's neutral on block. No matter how high or low you hit them with it, it's always going to be neutral on block. So outside of a combo, in a combo you could do it into this for your mid-screen conversion, which does pretty decent damage for 1x1 drive. Otherwise, its purpose outside of combos sort of like tricks and stuff, like one-time tricks that you only use and then you use again much later. You don't use it consistently. So for example, I'm jumping in, wall jump, get them with that, and then get an air grab. Oh wow, I just got 4 hits. So 4 hits at most, probably 5 on maybe Damo and Raiden, but I don't know. You get more hits the higher you use it. That's all you need to know. So next, her last special is a charge motion, and it's the wall dive. So she jumps into the wall, kind of like Vega from Street Fighter for those who play that. So the punch version doesn't matter. It only affects like her score dive follow-up. So there's 3 things you could do. If you reach the wall, you press a punch, you do the wall dive. And depending on what version you use, you should go farther. So that's the A version, and this is the C version. Alright, and if you don't press anything, she's just gonna sort of touch the wall and then fall down. And the only thing she could do at that point is her double knee drop command normal. Let's see. So I don't know, one thing I use is this, fake cross up. Not fake cross up, but fake overhead. Oops. It's supposed to pass a roll. There we go. Like that. Oh, come on. There we go. So, I just do this. Looks like I'm gonna do an overhead, but then I land early, and then I hit them low. So that's one gimmick, or not gimmick, but trick you can use with it. The wall dive, if she doesn't reach a wall, she's just gonna land like that. And another thing to know, there's no EX version of it. And the last thing you need to know is that you could do, when you press up, if you press straight up, she's just gonna jump back. If you press up forward, she's gonna jump forward, just so you know. Like this, the same thing with the score dive. Like, you don't want to use it. You don't want to use the score dive because it's gonna be unsafe on block. Even though it is kind of fast, you might catch your opponents off of it, but you're best off not using it. One of the best uses for it, functionality. Let's say I'm in a corner, I want to get out. I just do that. Do a block string. Maybe I'm waking up and I'm mashing shorts. And then just get out of here. That's one way you could use it. Another way you could use it is like this, is an instant overhead. So they have to block high afterwards, and if they're trying to press buttons afterwards, they're gonna get caught by the score dive. And it could cross up too, if you know how to use it right. So yeah, it's good to use because after a sweep, nobody's expecting like an instant overhead. But yeah, it's a good trick to use. So the wall dive, you don't use it for its intended purpose, which is, like, not its intended purpose, but you just gotta be creative with your wall dives if you want to use it offensively, like what I did. So, like that, for example, or like this. Alright, so that covers all for specials. Is there anything I'm missing? Nope. Alright, so let's go over her supers. Alright, so she's got this flame wheel sort of thing. Let me record the dummy to knock me down and then do a melee to show you the invincibility options. So the level 1's not invincible on wake up. You might be wondering, well, I fucking spent bar, I should be invincible. Well, and again, it is not Street Fighter where you can easily rely on reversals just because you spent bar. The EX version is invincible, but anyways, as I was saying, you don't want to rely too much on EX reversals and stuff like that in this game. You want to use the EX moves for combos. And yeah, combos and mainly combos. So anyways, just know that her level 1 super is not a reversal option. Another thing you can know about is that there's aerial versions of these. The properties of the aerial versions are pretty much the same as the grounded versions. The way it hits and how many hits or whatever varies. So like that, for example, hits differently than the grounded version, sort of. And another thing to know is that if you have the corner and use the EX super, you can get the air grab afterwards. However, I don't think you can do that with the level 1, unless maybe you're using the aerial version, but even then. So when do you use this? Never. You never want to use it. You only use the EX one as a reversal, maybe as an odd air to air, but let me show you why. You try to use it in a combo is not very optimal, because most of her combos has the opponents in the air, and this move is sort of like, in the air. It's just like a continuous hitbox. It's not like a round boost super or anything like that. Some people do like EX, not EX, but like Tiger D motion supers like that, which does hit more consistently, but that's 3 bars for just 470 damage. I could get the same amount with just 1 bar, 1 drive. So in the combos, her super is not that reliable. Unless, you're using like 2 EX supers in the air, Tiger Knee versions and stuff like that. But, at that point, it's just a waste of bar. Okay, so that covers everything. Normals, specials, command normals, supers. So next up, let's move on to her combos. So, let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot to cover her Neo Max. So the Neo Max, quarter circle forward, half circle back. This is 1 frame or is it 2 frames? I don't know. It's a really fast super and it tracks. Oops. And it tracks. So if mine has a full drive and 3 bars, you could use various sorts of things. A lot of my players, they throw out fireball and they wait for the other guy to maybe like do anything. So if they throw another fireball, or if they jump over, or if they roll, then all they have to do is just that. If you try to jump over and stuff like that, the super will track you, and it's only 1 or 2 frames, and it does 450 damage. So if you're fighting a Mai and she's throwing out fireballs while she has like 4 bar, 4 drive, then you wanna just block the fireball setup. For Neo Max, it's pretty good because it's only like 2 hits, so it doesn't scale as much. It's also, is it invincible on wake up? Yeah, it's invincible on wake up. I guess it's pretty obvious because like she's jumping away, what can you do about that? But yeah, that covers everything. So next video I'm gonna cover combos.